have his photo here. I can show you. In Hoodie, he actually was there in attendance and participated during that demonstration in the last court appearance.
And after the investigation, let him just be killed by hanging. And all the media platforms should be present and take live TV.
Innocent young men and the gunning down of a female policewoman, who were doing nothing but doing national duty. I think it's a very heinous crime. And anybody who celebrate this crime, really, you need to see a psychologist for some mental evaluation.
And to be honest, there have been celebrations on social media.
Yeah,
through audios and, all kinds of things.
Yeah, I have been sleepless for the past one. President Barrow actually didn't sleep the whole of Tuesday night. And, because he cannot just believe that people could just orchestrate this kind of thing. And Peter, I'm not going to dwell into most of the information I have.
That's why I'm not asking certain questions.
Yes,
as I sit here, I know.
I've
been tempted to ask certain follow-up questions.
The information is overwhelming. In America, they say TMI, too much information. And I have to be very economical, like they say in the Gambia, with what I have. Least it affects the investigation.
Absolutely.
But what I can tell you is, had the alleged gunman succeeded, he and his co-conspirators, there would have been chaos and confusion in this country, because for a good 1 week, they were surveillancing paramilitary posts, checkpoints, and they wanted to at least kill have a dozen paramilitary officers.
Really?
That was the motivation. So the police are unearthing evidence after evidence after evidence, and family members, friends who actually knew about this, people that the perpetrator spoke to and confided and confessed, should also report to the closest police station or the nearest police station. The man, after he shot these people, allegedly shot these people, was met by co-conspirators at a mosque within that vicinity, who actually provided the getaway car and drove him into the thick forest of Casamas for safety. So the police have uncovered this because Mr. Bojang has been exceptionally cooperative, and they're very happy with his information.
Again, as you say, we are trying not to divulge too much, but when you talk about attack on police stations and an intention to kill more than half a dozen security officials, every time, security installations have been attacked in this country, it's been with a calculated attempt to topple the government. You're not suggesting that this could have been the latest attempt to topple a democratically elected government in the Gambia?
It would be premature to say that. However, preliminary investigations are just overwhelmingly interested. I would put it that way.
Yes. We need to be very careful.
And I'm not alleging
you are full of trouble, bro.
The police are very happy.
Good morning, Peter. I'm joining the rest of Gambians in expressing my heartfelt condolence to the victims' families and entire Gambia. Peter, I don't know what is the secret behind the shootings. I don't think it's necessary for government spokesman to come there and give us the president's reaction. We all see his reaction. Let them work on the reforms. I suppose that would be security reforms.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sirif, you're the one I could see over here. Oh, it's been long. Anyway, Sirif, let me know if you can hear me clearly, and we would get on from there. And today specifically, we would look at the telephone traffic the police told us, as well as, the footprints of the Sowe they picked from Usain Bojang's house. And as well, what Sankari told us, we would still be giving you over and over everything that the government had told us. So, okay, you're watching in a vehicle, but you can hear me, right? Let me know if you can hear me. I just need to be sure that somebody can hear me, that I'm talking to myself. If somebody can hear me, just let me know you can. but I really hope you can. So if you can't, just let me know you can't hear me. So the first thing we would want to look at today is that in every police investigation, criminal or otherwise, we know very well that the 3 C's are to be met. It has to be complete, it has to be concise, and it has to be correct. So because the 3 has to be met, the police has given us their preliminary investigation in which Sankare had told us everything around it. Unfortunate thing about the police preliminary investigation was a fabrication. Now, first, the police, in their preliminary investigation, which is supposed to be complete, concise, and correct, appeared to be completely falsified by the police. Now, in their investigation, or during that period, or let's say the day that the incident happened, so the police DIG told us that prior to the event, from their own investigation or from their own actions, that there was a heavy telephone traffic on Usaino's phones. And understanding that there was a heavy telephone traffic on a particular phone, they decided to monitor this phone. Now, in monitoring this phone, why didn't you arrest this person at that point in time? Now, how do you determine that is a heavy telephone traffic or significant telephone traffic in a particular phone that you do not know the number, you do not know the owner, and you do not know what exactly is going on? So abukolo ko momo wala telefono ka call jama so that know that the police are tracking you. Is that what they're trying to tell us? No. Now, but because in their investigation, they do not know how to cover up their story, he said there was heavy telephone traffic in Usaino Bojang's phone. Now, let's even give them credit for that. If there is heavy telephone traffic in Usaino Bojang's phone, where was Usaino Bojang and his phone at the time? Was that prior or after the incident? How did DIG Sowe get Usaino Bojang's telephone number to be able to know that there was a telephone, high telephone traffic that enabled them to actually, follow this particular person or monitor this particular number, track this particular number, and then realize that this person is moving from one place to another, from one point to another until he got to Kazamas. Ko, mo keme fula mo keme sabaka benno dulaminto. Out of nothing, you just realize that there is one single telephone number that has a high telephone traffic and you are actually monitoring this particular number. Why didn't you actually get to this incident prior to the person doing what he did? So out of the hundreds of people that often would be around the traffic light, it was Usaino Bojang's phone that you realized there was a heavy telephone traffic, that you actually monitored this particular phone, and then as it moves from one point to another until it left the Gambia, you could not actually get this person. So now, even after following that heavy telephone traffic, why didn't you go to AfriCell or QCell or Comium or wherever his SIM card is registered to actually get his call logs printed and submitted to the court as evidence from your own preliminary investigation of fabricated stories against a particular set of people in a particular, political denomination? So, let's come to the 3 C's of your investigation. It's incorrect when it's supposed to be correct. It's not concise when it's supposed to be. It is not the true story that really happened. So, abu koninta sidam binkale ko mo keme fulala benda football filodo crime kedaje but janning crime ka keje, we were monitoring one particular number and there was heavy telephone traffic on this number. Why didn't you go and arrest this number? And the fact of the matter is, Usaino Bojang was not even a traffic light. So how were you able to know his number 1? How were you able to track his number 2? How did you know that there was a heavy telephone traffic on his number when in reality you did not bring any evidence of that in court? Niaje man diaji so bondije because ala contraco fango bantale, they still want to maintain it. It's to cover up this case because this case yebulo fala selang. So DIG sort it out. To all of you that are expecting that the dude will go, he will not go because they don't know how to handle the case. Imagine an old man who is no longer productive, you know, completely tired and retired, and of course giving a contract, and you want to give him more contract because he knew everything about the killing of the cop, because he's the one that told us that Usainu Bojang's phone has heavy telephone traffic, and they monitored his phone from that point, from one point to another. When in reality, how on earth in the Gambia that you have over 200 people or more in a particular, you know, environment, and you said, oh, this particular phone has heavy telephone traffic, then we are actually monitoring it? That doesn't make any sense to anybody. Does that mean that people who make a whole lot of calls in the Gambia are being monitored? No, it's not true. And the fact of the matter is that in as much as you told us that there was a heavy telephone traffic that gives you suspicions that this guy is up to a foul play, and what you did was to monitor his phone, track him from one point to another, why didn't you now bring evidence of heavy telephone traffic to court? And in the first place, how did you know that that phone number was Usainu Bojang's phone number that you were tracking? Because you were not tracking nothing. So it's a complete fabrication. So your entire investigation report or preliminary investigation report, which as a matter of fact, as you know, people with security background know very well that anytime you bring out a report, either preliminary or final, it has to really meet those three C's. It has to be complete, it has to be correct, and it has to be concise. So that was a complete preliminary report that you brought, but that was your entire fabricated script, because there was no telephone number that you were tracking before the incident or shortly after the incident, because Usainu Bojang was only handed over to you by the Senegalese military on the basis of Mama's audio and on the basis of Mama's report. So why did DIG so had the guts to tell us all of these fabricated stories? And you know why the man will not leave the police? There are very competent, educated, and well-equipped police officers in that, you know, institution. Young and energetic. But somebody who served the police way before I was born, you know, long time. Kabirin Jawara Jamano, Zandarmori, Nimo Kotengole. You want to maintain that person. You want to tell us that all the young people in the police force are incompetent. This is the only man you're going to keep there, because this is the man that fabricated the script that you wanted to ban the UDP on, and now you don't know what to do with him. Natara Tonyaba Kokon. Landing Bojang is more competent, effective, and efficient than this guy. If you have the policy that you're not going to give these people extension contracts or contract extensions, why is DIG so special? We ask the question, why is he so special? Why can't he go like others left before him? Because even if I don't think Landing Bojang will be older than DIG Sowe. Even if he is older than him in terms of services, I don't think he served more than this guy did. And I'm also not sure that, you know, DIG Sowe is more competent, efficient, and effective than Landing Bojang and others who left before him, who were not giving contracts. On the basis that there is a new regulation that we are not giving contracts, we are actually promoting young people who are energetic, educated, and have the competence to lead the force. Why is DIG so special? You have exposed yourself completely, and the entire world knew something did not go right. But I wouldn't get into those aspects of it. We would basically focus on what you people told us. Sankare told us that Usainu Bojang was cooperating with the investigation, and the investigators were happy. But Usainu Bojang came out and said, you see the contradictions? That he was hired to actually do what he did, what they called he did. On the whole, everything about what Sankare told us was a fabricated story. Sign, Tonya. Why will the police tell us something that is not true? And why would DIG Sowe retire, giving a contract, and others are denied contract, and now he is still in the police force when his days are completely over since the 2nd of August? What DIG Sowe there was heavy telephone traffic, and we basically know in the Gambia, how do you determine that because there is a heavy telephone traffic in a particular phone, that this particular person is the person who did this particular crime? And then on top of that, you know there was that heavy telephone traffic, and then you were more or less monitoring this particular number. Why didn't you get this person until they had to go to Brufut, leave Brufut, go to Brikama, leave Brikama, go to, you know, Dar Salami or Marrakech, and then go to Casamas, and you still could not get them? And then, contrary to what Sankare told us, he met his co-conspirators in a mosque, and they provided him with the escape vehicle into the thick forest of Casamas. But this guy was more or less crying at, a garage in Jululung. So what the Jumale Fanyal be double nyokono. He met his co-conspirators in a mass and they provided him an escape vehicle that run into, the thick forest of Casamas. Contrary to, that, he went to Casamas, a driver took him from one place to another to a motorbike to here and there, and then he arrived in Jululung, a rebel, just to sit on a garage and be crying about a white person. So what the Jumala Mantonya? So you know why DIG Sowe will not go? DIG Sowe is the fabricator of the entire script. DIG Sowe la konyoko. Usainu Bojang confessed to being at the UDP political, court case in Banjul with a gun. DIG Sowe le ofonye wala atinata bono la police ana la retired nyaonya nyamo fo yate mutaje drong. O DIG Sowe killing la murunda konyoko. We were monitoring this person from one point to another. I put up an armada here and there until an unknown person was giving to us in Casamas. But when they went to court, they never said anything like that. So why did the police lie? Why did DIG Sowe fabricate this entire script? Because everything, I'm not gonna come like just this part is true and another part is false. Everything that DIG Sowe told us and Sankare in their preliminary investigation report is a complete fabrication. There was no way that he can say that, okay, because there are over hundreds of people, I am monitoring this particular number because there is heavy telephone traffic. Yet you come to court, you did not present any evidence of telephone traffic. Because Usainu Bojang was not even at the traffic light that day. On top of it, Konyoko, Abenu UDP la court case to in Hoodie, and they saw us the person who was in Hoodie, Fania Sabanyangfel. Because he was hired to kill, that's another lie. That even the money he was paid, you people recovered part of the money, but we did not see any of that money. Fania Lulunjang, well, you can count all the way to the end. So now the police can tell why DIG Sowe will not go. Abetamuntole. But ku killing de Sowolonko, mansa killing jamane buka dunia bang. We have seen issues of this kind before in just the regime that ended. So DIG Sowe will continue to be DIG or whatever, in as much as we know there are competent, efficient, and productive young officers in the police force. They will not be given the opportunity because this man did what nobody dares to do, and that is to criminally connive with people in trying to ban the United Democratic Party by killing its own men, and came out with a fabricated script to give the Gambian people. And DIG Sowe will be accountable to his words, because at the end of the day, Sankare ete nyame na nyame nyadil, amurundandane he wrote again to dismiss everything he said and then put it all on you, and the police took full ownership of everything that Sankare said. So what Sankare fengo fem for police all lafai, and Sankare alo no kwate fengo fem for bemu fani ala de wala na kontama for the police all lafoni. So now the police took full ownership of everything that Sankare said. And when you take these people to court, Sankare would bring out that document that he himself wrote and made the police to post it as his evidence that ntama for police all laf. And that will basically get him out of the case, and it will now be the police and DIG Sowe. You must tell the truth when that day comes. So, the second aspect of it would be, over hundreds of people are here. I am monitoring only one number. How do you know that number? How do they know the numbers of people, all the people that were at that particular place? Did the police have a technology in which they can determine out of 100 people, these are the numbers that are, these are their telephone numbers, and this is the person who is having a heavy telephone, conversation, and then we are able to tell that this person is potentially the criminal? I could go and stand at the traffic light and make more than 100 calls when I don't even know what's happening. But not even that, there is no possibility of that happening in this case, because Usainu Bojang was not even at this particular spot. Because natara benunje tonya momi yalango telephone babu la telephone for la yobeta ya telephone fa, they refuse to bring them to the investigation. They refuse to bring his call logs because they know all of these things would get this dude out of this case. What they are trying to do is a single narrative prosecution, and they are trying to incarcerate the dude on the basis of false allegations, because they know they themselves killed their own people, and then they don't know how to deal with it, and they said let's just get this dude by all means. because the police are not investigating to know the truth. They are more or less looking at an escape route to see, let's victimize somebody and just escape by all means from this case. Now, the second aspect of their investigation, imagine if an incident like this happened, like, somebody shoot two and kill two and then injured one. Traffic light that are busy in Yami. People will rush to know what is going on. Amangeko, it is in a compound where Samabu Saramona Sunyaro Laje, Aburaje Amari Beta, Sunyaro Kefoko Paratata, and ya Samara Sinoli. But in Yimund Ladimi Alon Kabukol Marciete, Mol Bentaje, Kelabaka, and then all of a sudden we all came and then we are all looking what happened, and then everybody in one way or another dispersed. Now, if something like that happened, how can the police go to Usain Bojang's house? Yes, some of what wala perong kandro, yo some of chika. It was some of the sinno at the crime scene. It was world. Now, show us a picture of this Sowe, and then show us basically, the footprint that you met over there, and then tell us. And make that comparative analysis. So there you would basically understand that it's not even possible for a place where over 200 people would meet when an incident like that happened or beyond that, and then you just come and say, okay, this particular Sowe is what we met over there and it belongs to this particular person. Right? So what a Kenola? So simply because that cannot happen, we can basically tell that the police has fabricated that Ngasamada Sino Mintaraje belongs to Usain Bojang, and then amanga ko mo killing the benta nyundula wala amanga ko mo killing lalong, and then it's not like it's a single criminal involvement wherein it's just a person in a house or one person in a particular. This is a public environment. So in a public environment, how on earth can you tell us that it's only this particular Sowe that we met over there and it simply belongs to Usain Bojang, because and then we met those footprints at the scene of the. So what I'm going to So if you tell us that sign mari I police all file foka pare a sete la suo kono I samato mindung ngola samara sinota ranyin lato I mean going work ambasi. So ni kwanya ko mari nying atol ni wo fenketa and then wale nyimo fake wo kola ni nyimol tata ben nyin lato ani benta je foka pare they gave him an escape vehicle atara kasamas wanyama sa ida betano la wala suo kono nyaadi le sama do tara wodo yo sama do chikana eko what crime scene beto mol siata woto nyaawo nyama ita man sama da sinno je wodo na manke o sama to de e min bonni na wala suo kono eko lo wala sama da sinno. Now if that is the case, did you take a photo of what sama da sinno ning at the crime scene? Because ni manke crime scene te mi yalon ko mo kilinda mala bentaje wala mo kilinda nim police solda ma bentaje. Right. Put it up right there. So ito phone la. So that means nenyi mwari la telephone call ta ite wasamba wonyama eko wale police ulfa and then ala samara sinolo nyindi. Ala samara sinolo nyindi. Wasamara sinonying. How did you come to that conclusion? How did you come to that conclusion? So that wala tandina ko. Tonya la mantara ko. Because if for instance, Marcieto, sunyaro ke da Marcieto. And amanke kom let's say come mofake da Marcelo thing and then mol be na de kurta je nyine keta jang and too many people, and we know how Gambia crimes like that happen, and then you have all those people coming nyine keta jang and then you just jump it jeki jeki draw it police, or you came later and then you just went to somebody's house, you pick a Sowe there ko wala samara sinola wodo oba kenola nyadi. So all of these things are the reason why, even though the retired, DIG, tired, and we know that guy is really old and definitely needs to go home, will not go home. You know why? Because every script or every page of that script was fabricated by him. Iman script on fabricate ku kama ya fabricate min kama wala nyindu ko, they wanted to ban the United Democratic Party. O mal ning UDP la hajol la haji tawdon. But we would tell you that Usain Bojang did not kill the cops, and your entire fabrication is known to the world, and everybody in this world understood that the government of Adam Barrow has killed the cops. So what I'm tonyat. Nimo yo fale wala mtonyat nimo fale du wala mtonyat. Because you cannot tell us ko there was a heavy telephone traffic on Usain's phone. How? How do you know that there was heavy telephone traffic on his phone and then you were able to monitor his phone from that point, from one point to another? How many people were at traffic light who would have made calls? Why did you come to court and you did not bring evidence of that heavy telephone traffic? Why did you come to court with your 13 witnesses? You did not come back to tell us that, oh, this guy is a rebel. Yeah, so in your press conference, everything that you told us in Sankare's entire script, you never brought even a single aspect of that to court. So that tells you that initially, Ali Nyimbe fabricated Alfangolele before the event, and when it happened, you came out to make those lies. And when UDP came out to debunk that the person you are even talking about in Hoodie is this person, is not this Usain Bojang, and then the person you're talking about working in Brikama Area Council, you have access to every document in Brikama Area Council. Go and have a look at it and let us know if basically that is Usain Bojang. You realize that you failed in that quest and you cannot ban that political establishment. Mama Jabi, in another way, simply met Usain Boja in Kazamas and just suspiciously thought, okay, it could be him. Let me just frame him. And then upon framing him, you people realize that Mamala audio Fongoto, there is nothing that talked about killing the cops, and you refuse to bring it to court, but we will bring it to court. And the only thing collaborating in Mama's audio is that this same guy mentioned again that, like he mentioned to the person at the garage. But I'll Momi Yalonko, his co-conspirators actually get him the escape vehicle, up to the thick forest of Casamas. What was he then doing at a garage? Why was he crying about a white person at a garage? Why was he crying about a white person at a garage? So, atol police atol la nyame obe dantal ka ko crime kata jamul be farin jan tep a jeki jeki ta wandi korda kono do sama do chikana woro e ko karle la sama do munyinde ngani sama da sinole tar crime scene nyinde. But imagine crime scene me alonko. This guy in police will form manjam because he must be at a distance to shoot them. How did you know where the person was standing? How did you know that this particular shoe belongs to this person? And why did you actually get to his house and pick that particular shoe you made? Wala peranka yo chika anyway taiko ngani samara sinola taraje is a combat boots or whatever. And the funny thing? The shoe does not even belong to the dude. The shoe does not even belong to the dude. So now, what will the police now tell us? What will the police tell us that they have investigated and came to a conclusion that this person is the person who killed the cops? On what basis have you taken this person to court? On what evidence? And funnily, you see, all these, Pate Jallo, DIG Sowe, Ibu Sowe, Commissioner Sowe, Detective Sowe here and there, you all criminally connived in this case because Pate, you cannot be telling people, no, the boy confessed to killing. Eka mingo mimbe funkabe mwele. Mansa killing jamane bukatu. Ya jamela buroda fajane. Ikumboda jane wurra jamole fenke jam. People sympathize with you. We know that was wrong. So B, if you are looking for position, you don't know how to look for position. Yalong, at one time I saw UDP people, kind of praising you when you went to Brikama Area Council. Eke fon daddy and wodla. Nyong criminal o manso do Gambia kon. That is what you people don't know. Criminal man tambi Pate Jallo la. Pate Jallo kabri isa fal ni mbaba jadunta nyola jang. He went to Brusibi police station ka folia ko ali be detained. This guy is a tool for NPP. He is not serving the Gambia police force with integrity. A very disgusting guy. Taman sila wala people that let you people do all your kind of things are not like some of us. No, no, no. Because it is more or less your political plot against the United Democratic Party. In as much as I might not fully support the United Democratic Party and their ideology here and there, you have no right to frame somebody just because you want to ban this political establishment, simply because the president is constantly complaining, hey, para jalo ite min kumboja yaja meja mano ite murunda ko denga be wala police because you are the specific person that the United Democratic Party was complaining about, and then you people framed your own boys who have a similar name like you. Your people went and killed them, and then you turn around to say that, oh, is Hussein Boja, he confessed to killing. You want us to believe in your own words, oh, he confessed to killing. Atol ka to nyalaf. Gambia atol lon to nya folla. You people are a disgrace to the Gambia police force. Wala tinatolo be nyanda bola je. Because alman tonya long albuka tonya for alman tonya tano dron alka balu wala. You are AIG. Let them make you IG. But someday you all will definitely tell us where the truth lies. May pick them from nothing and give them big positions because they're actually doing all those terrible things for him. But at the end of the day, where are they? Some people in the police who basically are friends with you would say, no, boy, Kotobi is very professional here and there. You think people are dumb? We are not dumb. We know everything that is going on. You made yourself a political tool for NPP and pretending as if you are a very serious person in the police force. You are the kind of people who would definitely destroy this country. And in this case, we're not giving you tarfatal aini. Manda fentula lejede. If you are determined to incarcerate this dude, we are 10 times more determined to bring the truth to the people and to let you know the criminal acts that you people are doing. You people are actually, giving the responsibility to protect this country, but instead you are using those positions to basically, do evil to the people of this country. And you call yourself police officers. We will not watch you do that. The leadership of the Gambia police force is the most disgusting, one that I've ever seen. And it's not because you hate the police. My best of folks are in the police. The people I give the most of respect are in the police. My own teachers from primary school, junior high school to high school, most of them are police officers. That is what some of you don't know. And my own relatives are in there. But Pate Jallo, you cannot. Isafal has an issue with, this guy, Baba Jah. You went to Bruce B and you tell them to detain both of them. You know why? Because you were playing politics for the NPP. Police we know all that. On top of it, UDP, they are complaining about you, and on top of it, another party Jallo is killed, and you want to tell us that is coincidence? And your DIG had the guts to come and tell us that, oh, there was heavy telephone traffic. We are monitoring this particular telephone number. How? Even a recruit in the police would know that something did not go right there. And your preliminary investigation, you basically told us that, okay, because there was heavy telephone traffic, you followed this number from one point to another. Why did you wait for the guy to get to Casamas before you get him if you had already been, monitoring his telephone number? On top of it, how did you even know his telephone number in the first place when you did not know who actually did the crime at that point in time? So your entire script has exposed the government that you people masterminded the killing of your own men and then turn around to make a fabricated story. And funnily enough, criminally smart. And in terms of police, this case, even the dumbest person, a dumbest civilian can easily tell you that something did not go right here. So I thought police would have been smart enough, in as much as you decide to be bad. Do it to the best of your ability. If you decide to be good, be good. If you decide to be bad, be the worst. But don't be in between, because you can easily be seen as just a cheeky person who doesn't know what he's doing because you're not master of your trade. So in this case, that is what happened. You people you are not used to it. So you're starting something you're not used to. And then you definitely expose the government and yourselves. And that's why you will not go home, because you are retired and tired. You can stay in the police force for as long as you want. Even if you want, stay there until you die. But I mean quite a molbe sontala ko. DIG so you offen for bemo faniality. Padre Jallo, whoever you are telling that no, this dude, he confessed to killing is a lie, and you know something about it. People kind of fear you for your brute. Look, be the worst person in the police force. We don't give a fuck. You excuse the language, but this is where we've got to with you people. Saying, Nimmo fakera dulato. And then mo jama bentaje. Ite jeki do eta wandi korda ko ne samata samaroje wode yo samaro nyi cikanang imala minta mo samadode yo sambana ko bawo sen boda nyi korda ko na telta mo samadode ngani samata sinole tara at the crime scene. How?
Did you take images of Wasamara Sinonying to make a comparative analysis to qualify? And then yet Wasamara Sinonying Sambaya and you can to ensure that it is exactly the perfect match. Did you protect that particular spot where Samara Sinonying Badamin? Because Niko the crime scene protect. Did you protect the crime scene where the officers were shot and they fell down, or you protected the crime scene where the shooter was standing and where these persons were being shot? To the laugh about Niko crime scene. Amanda Kilende. Shoot dami, me shoot abelorin dami. That's one aspect of it. And the distance, I wouldn't know. To where he shot these people and where they fall. It's either you actually cover that entire perimeter, or you cover where the people fell and then cover this other side and then leave the distance in between. So where did you actually find this shoe? Ale minfoko ale samara sinonyi na taraji. Ya fani yamantambiwal. Ya fani yamantambiwal. But how did the army contribute to this criminality? First, I told that 13 witness will be another. If in as much as you said Usainu Bojang did this, the sister. So there would have been telephone conversation between Usainu and the sister and other people that you call his co-conspirators. After your 13 witnesses, you did not bring in any call log printouts, because that should have been very helpful to your case. But you brought nothing like that. You told us that the dude basically met his co-conspirators in a mosque, but you did not bring any co-conspirator. Fanya Fulanyang Fele. Alkabe dok wala brikama area council la fanya sabanyang fele. Alkonyo ko anin kidolo benu UDP la event in Hoodie. That's another lie. So now, the only question I have now, why did the police lie? Did the police have any reason to lie about the death of their own men? Now, on top of it, if you tell us that you have a new policy that or let's say you have a new policy that if you are retired and tired, we definitely will not give you another contract. Why did you give another contract to DIG Sowe? To compensate for what he did? To compensate for his lies? To compensate for his criminal activities? To compensate for everything he has said and done in the killing of the cops, right? Because there is no other reason why DIG Sowe will remain in the police force while Landing Bojang is asked to leave. While other people who are as competent, efficient, and effective, better than him, are asked to leave because they cannot be given contracts because the police has, got a new policy on that. So why is the policy bent for DIG Sowe? Why? Is DIG so special that he cannot leave the police force and he cannot be replaced? Of course he cannot be replaced, because somebody who does heinous crimes like that cannot be replaced. Somebody who had the guts to frame the killing of its own men cannot be replaced. So wallam kudimi ya ko mbenyande wala jibela mbenga sonko tonya tan la tamata ja tonya man tamaje. So what on kumimbo nyama, ndolta sino la mbeko ngande okang ngaji beko police will come in for mtonyati, and then this dude killed the cops simply because Pat Jalo said, oh yeah, ako ndongo nying confess that. Confess what? Alka momin bulo aka bulo chen wolo balal ko bute alka fumole ko confess that. With all the competent people in the police force, we have nobody to lead that institution that this riffraffs. The police force got to change. And for the army, I told Loko from Kandabalafal, but I told Bambalafal from it. But no, it's not the army. It's morning, man. It's the people in Yalonko, a position of authority di Wallela. Because if you have the got to reinstate coupists and confessed criminals, you all mudun na yedun di masakunda. Eko wali bara mingo minna droi bara la walla. Because what they will be there to please the system. How on earth could you do a ballistic examination that does not even have a date? And then you, the chief of defense staff, have the guts to send that to the police as the report. They will not present any CCTV footages to the court. These people have nothing at hand. Cyber damage control because they know they are being exposed. So because they are being exposed, they will never bring any of these footages. They are seizing every traceable evidence that is going to expose them. And up till date, we know very well that they are doing everything possible to keep that dude silent. Because you know what happened? When the dude went to Kazamas, he interviewed even Al-Husseini Dari, and Al-Husseini Dari confessed to him that this dude did not talk about any killing of police officers. When he came to the gang, he told me that he has a problem with this white person, and then I directed him to a Marabu to see how they can help him. But the government turned around after everything, do everything to persuade that dude to come and say, yeah, you know, he told us he killed the cop, so that it can collaborate with that of Mama, where Mama said, oh yeah, he told us. But Mama refused to bring her audio. But now that audio will expose Mama and Al-Husseini Dari, because in that audio, the only collaborating thing that exists in it is that what something he told Mama and Al-Husseini in that audio. That is why the police refused to bring that audio. So, if the police were after the truth, they should have bring in that audio. They are not after the truth. They are only after incarcerating this dude to hide their own criminality. Karumomi betonya anyinola. Itara mulla korda ko ne kido nyini nyaaw nyaay man kidi jeje. Ije ki jagre sama rochi kanan ro ini wayta ka ko ngani sama sinole taraje. So that means you are doing everything possible, humanly possible, to incarcerate this dude on false allegation that you know very well that you people killed your own men. So and with everything that DIG told us, okay, heavy telephone traffic, we will go and print out Oseno's, entire call logs. The call logs would be with the GSM operators because he knew his numbers. I told police fortunately the dude knows all your names. Because Ali told for Alka Fai Koyamre Jongulal long. We know very well that in police investigation certain things could happen, but you did an entire investigation that clearly told you that this dude is not involved in this case. But simply because you know the people involved, you said, let's just keep going with this. And that is why we will expose you to the letter. We will expose your criminality. And that is why DIG Sowe will not go home, because it's to be compensated. And that compensation is to keep him as DIG as long as this regime exists. And the military, you want to support that after 8 years of you people being disarmed, foreign occupying forces are in charge of our security. What morale does that even give to the men on the ground? It's just like me being a teacher in a particular classroom, all of you in, and you ask me to sit and be watching this person for 8 good years. How does that even make me feel? How does it make you feel that the security of our own country is in the hands of foreign occupying forces for over 8 years? Imanda wodrom fangala, the Senegalese min benna, state house ikana mani bodo sunya. Imanda wala sai la kodo fanga, iko ika fenko for ferry or crossing point. Ika doni fanga la kodo la. Wal mfutara wala tembo. Masa kunda tilimbalo fanga ya jala be ratol be wala keta. Ofa. Gambiano sa kuwa beta masa for mofa moto ta. So with an open mind. Now, Alcola Nimboja, you are not giving, extra, whatever, contract to other police officers. Many retired. So I'm not in Alia DIG Sola. Compare the two and tell us why you gave DIG so. If it is not about the killing of the man around it, why then the DEC giving a what is the government? So we wanted to the two aspects of their investigation. They refused logs to do, and they deliberately, holding his phones. The investigation. Top, how you determine that this particular phone, in a mix of 200, 300 people, is the one that has heavy telephone traffic, and how it connect to, the crime committed. And on top of it, you said you were following this person from one point to another until you got to Casamas and an unknown person was giving to you. But the telephone that you were monitoring from traffic light, police will monitor traffic light, you cannot call your men anywhere at the border, everywhere. Senegal police will now detail. That means there was nothing like heavy telephone traffic. It's a lie by the police command. The second lie, they told us that they went to this house and picked a particular shoe that does not even belong to him personally. And then when they picked this shoe, they said that is basically the footprints they met at the crime scene. The crime scene, more than hundreds people would have met there. How did you determine that this particular shoe was the one at the crime scene? was actually protected? Was it where the officers fell, or was it where the shooter was standing? How did they know this is the exact spot the shooter was standing, and this is the exact the particular shooter? When did you want to tell me that that entire environment, traffic, sukura traffic light, was some of the single mala tamadaje? Faniala tambida wala. So everything that the police told us is a lie. So the police knew everything about the killing of their own men. Pada jalo mete la political we know that. Nkanyala kasi baranya kaso la natambo. Ndasonna wala kotenke. We saw how you dealt with that Isafal Babaja case, playing all the cards for NPP. You as a police officer, Imam Malu Imam Sila. Yede doma fajan tilimbalian in Tajiten. We will not. You are not more Gambian than anybody. It a man fellow including your DIG. They can promote you to AIG and promote you to whatever. You knew something about the killing of the cops because you are the specific person that the UDP were complaining about. And killing another person who bears your name, and then you turn around be telling people that, oh, Seno Bojang confessed to the killing. You are lying. You are lying. And you know very well that you are lying. And you know very well that you know something about the killing of your men. Just like the DIG knows everything about the killing of your men. Para minin tafal tonyala kalabang. The script has turned around and is now pointing at you people. So come out and clarify and tell us what the truth is. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would keep it at that. I'll catch you another time. But the two aspects of their investigations, we basically clearly tell you that those are falsified stuff and quite, fabricated stories from DIG Sowe and his, criminal cabal within the police force. That set of people that they consider to be investigators, many are criminal or meeting, and wall nyanta by la police le wal manke tonya molte because even giving false information to a public officer is a criminal act in the Gambia. Why in the first place did DIG so tell Sankare that Usain Boja works in Brikama Area Council? Simply because you want to manipulatively ban the United Democratic Party. UDP wale muneketela. If you want to do politics, do it rightly. Leave the police and become a politician. But you cannot be a police officer where you are expected to, be fair among all Gambians. You are becoming a political tool for the establishment. We know each and every time that you go to State House, kamulla mol dundi wuliani mfani yako. Ale jina ke aja mala jalo tu wulia fulai kamulla mol fajang simply because of people like you, disgusting human beings like you. And some of you, when you became victims of it, you realize how hurtful and how painful it is. So, walam kutimi along ko abe sotori. To the army that is actually told to state Omar Sajo rebel. But Hana Fasai, you cannot prove that Omar Sajo is a rebel. On top of it, Alberta would rally rebellia to Jalko in running senior the army one funny. Have these Kanyalang names in Karoninka because the dude is called Sane. Aljeki Jeki Alko Sane. But I'm Alko Salif Sajo Dingolo. Salif Sajo for Kondonka falling day by day. Biake Sane de Somaike Sajot. You people lie. This is how you want to run our institutions. This is how you people run government. On lies upon lies. That has no fabrication type to be one of those you have within your military installations so that they can say that, oh, it's a gun that comes from foreign. Foreign where? I don't let police all far. So take full responsibility for it. And this government will be accountable to the killing of the cops because you did it primarily to ban the United Democratic Party. And you failed in that quest and you don't know where to bomb who is trying to get solutions to his problem. And then you framed him and then came out to say that you said you recorded him confessing. It is lost. We have the audio because no audio killing the cops. On top of it, you told us he works in Brikama Area Council. And how could the police come out with a preliminary investigation report, which is completely a fabricated story of lies and propaganda against the United Democratic Party? How? And if people talk about it, say no, this case is in this. Let the case be in, go. Even if the case is in not on the Yomal Kiyama Kontibo, we will talk about it, let alone a Gambian court. Do whatever you can do. Sankare ni la dabo ni la fanya fo becho Gambian ol yalo no ko fanya masakunda ka boyta la blokon. But in this case, you played very smart because you know that something did not go right here, and you quickly came out to say, "Ngami ngomi fontama for police ol there fonye." Femi, Femi, I know you don't want me to talk about this case, but look, this case has got to a point that you cannot understand the head and tail. We grow up in this community is a rebel force, which is a lie. On top of it, you told us he worked in Brikama Area Council, which is another lie. You told us that he was at the UDP court case with a gun, which is another lie. You told us that he was in possession of a gun from a long time, which is another lie. That he was actually hired by people and paid, and part of the money was recovered, which is another lie. That he was actually lodged in a particular, motel, which is another lie. How on earth do you expect us to reconcile our minds to that? And that you were tracking his phone because there was heavy telephone traffic, which is a lie. And you have his phones, you refuse to bring out call logs from his phone, which is just deliberate. So how did he become the killer of the cops? Aka wani dungal bula doku wala lete londi dula kini wala na muru nan ko ngali faji pour alla politico kama. Go. DIG, so, Pate Jallo, whatever. Let them promote you to DIG and IG. We don't care. But you people know who killed the cops, and you will someday tell the truth to the Gambian people. Because UDP cannot complain about you and somebody with the same name and last name who is a very junior person be killed just to kind of make it look like it's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's a deliberate intent to kill the police officers to frame the United Democratic Party with the sole intention to ban the political establishment. And that kal farasita wala bala. Adol mo jaw balle de wala na tere ku yaman koy bake. Wala ndolla haji to bedo de. Ndolla hajo be min do wala nyinde ko. Ale molla fonninke min mutaman hani police fa o koyta Allah le. Allah will yale min be Gambian ol ya belon na silang. And then Gambians will account you to the killing of the cops. And then you people know something about it. And you definitely cannot kill people's children and you expect them to shut up. No. You cannot. So all of these things you definitely would be accountable to them. Even if not today, someday you people will be accountable to it. That is what you people need to know. You DIG, so that is why you cannot go home, because what will you do? Or what will you tell the Gambian people? So you have nothing to tell the Gambian people because you are the person that fabricated the entire script. And one or two of you would be telling people, no, don't go and confess to the killings. Play us the audios in which he confessed to those killings, if he did so voluntarily and willingly, and then let him explain to you how exactly all of that happened, and also tell us why you lied in the first place. Why you tell all fabricated stories in the first place? Because we grew up with this dude and we know him from, childhood to date. Like we said before, but we can tell. And when it is a completely fabricated script too, we can tell. And that is exactly what we are trying to tell you, that everything you people said about this case was a lie. Was a complete lie. And even recruits in the police will tell you, boy, you have nothing to feed dog boy, sun guy sun boy. So sen guy sen boy, why you must see what because you are still in uniform. We will speak for you. We are not just speaking for anybody, we are speaking for the police officers any one of them can definitely be a victim of this case. And then nobody will dare to say anything. Masakunda ka tajirinte yan in Tilimbali yan in Jowi yan in Kuria kumasten. If this is how you people want to keep bound for the next 10 years again, no, it will not work. No. Ambal konti bola walale. So keep those shoes, and let me just tell you, by the time the defense begins, you realize that it does not be. I mean, so come maybe fan alala fan yar wanyara. Because you go to somebody's house, you some rojo or you chicken and dreko ngani some sinola tarawodla. Does it even make any sense? Even the dumbest person will realize that no, something did not go right here, because you cannot pick a particular shoe in somebody's house and say, yo some sinola tara traffic like me along manu kanong and all that. Another dumala from moja la katamintami mi wodla. Ire jeki jeki dreko some sino nying kolong. The suspect la some sinot. Konyo wuliara from bekeri. To date, the gun is missing, but someday you will produce this gun. So we would leave it at that, and I'll catch you another time. But don't lafta min follow non drone wala woti. Ko kapo ko nga sama role min chega useni nyolla ko da kon kapo ko wala sama sinori min taro crime scene do fun yalti. Kapo ko there was heavy telephone traffic on his phone. They deliberately refused to bring locks. They did not bring anything except told us to court. Nala ko min ka wala UDP but Alta will yala useni bojan kanko wala police will fatara police will la haji fong along. He doesn't have any business with the police. Alman ka mulla bangol ta mulla sade kon alman dang ka tilimbal yal ni kuriya ke mulla dulal alman dang wol bela ka mulla baje nyol be ke ka talal da mal fa kana wala mulla sade mul kal ko mulen de o kan tan de no la wakam so wora fale to nyal taman ni nal tema so ni o man taman o dung alda lafta min na nyamata taman no nyam bango ka taman ni tilngo ni to nyakan ne diaji so afo etu jede bara sa mbe to fola ko ka fa nyam diaji so de ko sen bojane police fa ngoy man to nyafo idel ko sen jambe no UDP la court case ngoy man to nyafo idel ko sen jambe do wala brigama area council man to nyafo idel ko he was in possession of a gun from a long time man to nyafo idel ko you use code from one point to another until you get to a point somebody was giving to you. So everything that you've said is a lie. Idel ko the guy was a rebel man to nyafo police all saying Italia be fabricate the story is all yours, so take full ownership of it. If you have got to lie to that level, then you do not deserve to wear our uniform for the next minute. And we will petition you for the Gambians to really petition you to be dismissed from the police force because you are tired and retired. But because we will petition you to the highest level. And then we will petition the Gambia government to the international community on the killing of the cops because we know very well that you people did something wrong in it. Bye. I'll talk to you another time.